Hello and welcome to episode 120 of the She Must Knit podcast. My name is Erin and thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you guys have had a good 2 weeks. It's been about 2 weeks since I last recorded. And what's been going on here? So we are in summer vacation and so far our days are pretty, not much happens differently each day. We have gone through a bit of a routine change. So previously, Kira was having 2 naps a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, kind of had to work our day around that. Just last week, she started transitioning to 1 nap. Now, she could easily still have 2 naps, but it was starting to affect her bedtime. So she wasn't quite ready to go down to bed at night, and it was taking a long time for her to settle. So she's right at the age range where they typically go around down to 1 nap. So I decided, okay, we got to do that. So she has 1 nap around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and so our mornings can go one of 2 ways. She can be perfectly pleasant in the morning if she wakes up a little bit later, or if she wakes up too early, then right around the 10:30 mark, we go into a meltdown mode, and it's basically code red, throw everyone in the car, we need to go to the park or something, just because she really enjoys going to the parks and the splash pad. She loves the splash pad. Actually, I think I have a little video that I will be able to share at the end. That just reminded me. But she loves the splash pad, so if we can get out to the park, she can very easily busy herself until about lunchtime, and then come back, have lunch, she goes down for a nap, and the rest of the day goes pretty smoothly. So that's where we are right now. We're in kind of a transition mode, and some days go really smoothly, other days not so much, but that is a life with a kind of early toddler. So what do I have to share with you today? I feel like I've got quite a bit of progress made on several of my projects. So I actually have 2 finished objects to share with you today. I've cast on my July socks, so I'll be able to share those with you, and then I have made quite a bit of progress on another project. So I think we are going to start with my my June socks. So the last time I spoke with you, I think we were a couple of days from the end of the month, and I was pretty, I was pretty confident that I'd finish the socks because I usually do, but I wasn't in like full-on confident mode. I had to get to a certain point over the next day or so in order to know for sure that I was going to finish them. But I did. I finished them. So these are my June Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. The colorway is Going to the Drive-In. I think this color combination is just so much fun. I made these for my older of my 3 younger brothers. So now all my brother's socks are done for Christmas, which is wonderful. And yeah, I think he's just going to really like this color combination. Knit them in my standard sock recipe that I use for my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks, which are pretty much always plain vanilla, because I just do not have the time to guarantee that I will finish them by the end of the month if I do a pattern sock. I'm starting to venture back into wanting to do pattern socks, but they're going to have to be like secondary pairs to my monthly pair, because it will probably take me a couple of months over a couple of months to finish them. But anyway, these are my June socks. I finished these. I think I explained most of this stuff last episode. For my brothers, I cast on 72 stitches. I do 10 stripes down the leg. I do my little increase heel, which is kind of based on a strong heel. That's the type of heel. 75 rows past joining in the round to the toe, and then I add my little standard toe. So those are my June Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. And then in just a moment, I will show you how my July socks are going. And I'm really happy with where I am for my July socks. I haven't been in this place on my socks at this time during the month in a long time. I can't remember the last time, so I'm very happy. I will share those with you in a moment. But let's go on to my other finished object. I wasn't sure I was going to have this done to share with you for this episode. I finished it, I think, last week, and I was working on it, and I was like, okay, I just want to get to like this point, and then I'm going to put it aside and work on some other things, and then I will share it kind of like almost done, and then I'll finish it for the following episode. But I just couldn't put it down. Every time I picked it up, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do, you know, these pieces. And I would do those pieces, and I'd be like, okay, I want to do a few more pieces. And it just so happened that over like a day or so, I think it was not this past Sunday, but the previous Sunday, I just kind of went ham on it and just finished it all up. But I finished my little ping pong toy for Kira. So just as a reminder, I'm going to put the picture up here. This is Ping Fong, and he's a character in, he's just a character. I don't know his background or whatever, but he's a character in these little children's cartoons that sing, and Kira loves singing, and on Netflix there's a movie that has him and Baby Shark in it, and she just loves this movie, and I decided I wanted to make her a little ping pong toy. So I based, I used the pattern, kind of the foundation pattern. I used this pattern here. This is Francis the socks wearing fox. So I used that kind of as a foundation, and then I kind of just modified certain things to make it more ping pong like. So here he is. What do you guys think? Now he's not perfect. He's not perfect. He's not an exact duplicate of Ping Pong, but I think the essence of Ping Pong is there. And considering I wasn't using a Ping Pong pattern and I had to change some things, I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. So the last time I showed it to you, I think I just had the body done. And so following the pattern, I followed this part, the body of the pattern, exactly, and then once I got up here to kind of the neck, there was some increases to do the head shaping. That's where I kind of veered off and did my own increases and decreases so that his kind of cheek area was a little more pronounced, and then I kind of just did my own thing to kind of shape the head. The ears and the limbs, I followed the pattern exactly, so the legs here and the arms and the ears were I followed the pattern exactly. The muzzle, I actually did follow the pattern exactly, but when I put the muzzle on the face, I cut the eye shapes out. I cut them out of the felt and just had them. I didn't sew them on, but I would kind of place them on the face just to see if it was going in the right direction, and the muzzle as written was just too big. It looked weird. I got Dennis's opinion on it. I got Avery's opinion on it. I was like, should I just not do the muzzle? Should I try and change the muzzle? And I think we decided to start off with a smaller muzzle and to see how that went. And I was prepared to totally re-knit the muzzle, but what I ended up doing was just kind of folding the excess fabric of the muzzle kind of under and using that as the stuffing, and then I just sewed it back on. So this is the original muzzle, the larger size that you see in the original pattern, but I kind of just sewed it on so that it looked smaller, and I think it suits him much better. So once I had that on and I kind of placed the eyes and it was kind of looking like it was going in the right direction, that's when I kind of attached everything. His little star detail, I think I had mentioned before, I was thinking I was gonna have to look for some sort of crochet pattern to do a little star or something. I just decided to do all his accessories, so his little star necklace and his little crown, in fleece, because if you can sew things, it's a lot faster than knitting them or crocheting them. So yeah, these didn't take me very long. I just had to kind of sew the shape together and, you know, turn it inside out and then just stitch it on. I mean, she's not going to care if it's not exactly right, but yeah, so he's got that and he's got that. And you might be saying, hey, where's his tail? And I know some of you might be thinking, because of what I talked about in the last episode, that I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough yarn and that I was just going to start with his body and go from there. Well, I actually do have enough yarn to do the tail. This is what I have left of this yarn, and that is the yarn there in case you're curious. I honestly don't know where you would get this yarn. I got it at, it was kind of in a bargain bin at a yarn shop many years ago that no longer exists. So, and I don't even think when I was entering it, originally I used this yarn for a sweater for Avery, and this was just using the leftovers. When I entered the yarn for her sweater, I don't even think it was in the system, so it's just some kind of random yarn. But back to Ping Pong. I actually do have enough, I think, to make his tail, But I was just thinking, with the age that she is right now and how she just kind of likes to cuddle with her toys on the couch when she's watching her show, I feel like a big tail would kind of just be overly bulky and kind of get in the way of like really kind of snuggling and hugging the toy. So I left the tail off intentionally for now, but I do have the yarn. I'm going to put it aside. If she gets older and for some reason she still enjoys this toy and she wants the tail on, I will happily knit a tail and attach it. But I think for now and for her purpose, this is just fine. So yeah, I'm really happy with how he turned out. Now, when I showed it to her, all she wants to do every time, you know, if you put it in front of her and be like, look, it's ping pong, she just goes, boop, and she boops his nose. She does that every single time. It's quite cute. But I don't know. I think she does recognize him. But yeah, so she enjoys having him around when she's watching her shows with her Peppa toys. She just kind of gathers all her little character toys together. But for now, yeah, I'm really happy that I finished that. I'm happy that I managed to change my square on my bingo card before that, because I changed it to make Kira a toy instead of make Kira a doll. And so now I was able to mark that off. So that is another square done. So all in all, that was just a very satisfying project. It was kind of fun to modify a pattern and see if I could make it look like a different character. It was fun to make Kira something. It was fun to use stash yarn. I was able to use materials that I had around in my house. I didn't have to go out and get anything. So yeah, it was just overall a very satisfying little project. So those are my two finished objects, and then I think next I will share what I'm working on. So first, let's go with my July socks, and then we'll go into some of the other projects. So I think in the last episode, I shared the yarn with you because I knew what yarn I was going to be using for my July socks. This is the skein here. This is a glow-in-the-dark mini putt. This is the skein that I won by submitting a photo to one of her monthly theme kind of competitions in the Ravelry group. So she picked the picture I submitted, so I won a skein. Look, I showed you my nail wraps last episode. These are the ones that I picked to match this month. I think they look so fun. It's been so much fun taking pictures of my socks as I've been working on them with my fun little matching nails. But yeah, so this is the skein, and then wait till you guys see how far I've gotten. So I know I have said many times before that my ideal goal is every month to be finished my first sock by the halfway point of the month. So there's 31 days in July, so around the 15th, 16th of this month, ideally I would like to be done the first sock. Well, I am almost done the first sock, so I have cast on, and these are for myself. I'd like to do in July a pair for me, because previously, usually in the months leading up to July, I'm doing a lot of gift socks, so I like to pick out a skein for myself. So these are for myself. So I cast on 81 stitches, and then I'm doing my usual 10 stripes for the leg, my increased heel. But look, I finished the heel increases, I have joined back in the round, and I'm working down the foot. And if you can tell by the markers, I've got 4 markers there, which means I've done 40 rows of the foot, and for my feet, I just have to do 60 rows and then the toe. So I have 20 more rows to do, and then the toe, and then I will be done with my first sock. So I could probably get this done, or at least I could get the 20 rows done tonight. That's the one thing with this kind of shift in our schedule, is with Kira only having 1 nap a day, I'm finding that the time that I have to knit, which was already reduced, has kind of been reduced even further, because before, when she was having 2 naps, that was 2 times during the day. Usually one of those times I was kind of making sure, I was having my breakfast and getting kind of my morning stuff done, but at least in the afternoon nap I had time to knit, and sometimes at the morning nap, if she had a longer nap, I would have time to knit. And now that's been condensed to 1. And unlike Avery, I was so lucky with Avery. She was such a good napper, and you don't realize what you have until you don't have it anymore. She had 2 2-hour-long naps when she was little, and then when she transitioned to 1 nap, she had 1 4-hour nap every day, and it was absolutely glorious. So Kira had gotten to the point where she was having 2 1.5-hour naps every day. So I at least had an hour and a half in the morning and an hour and a half in the afternoon to kind of do the things I needed to do or wanted to do without being bothered, like eat. And now that she's down to one nap, she's not having a 3-hour nap. When she first started having one nap, it was an hour long, and I was like, this is not going to work. But she has it's slowly gotten a little bit longer. So she's more towards the 1.5 hour to 2 hours now in the one nap, which still, I mean, 2 hours is definitely better than 1 hour, but oh, man, when Avery had that 4-hour nap, that was so nice. But yeah, so now I just have this one time during the day, this one time where if I want to sit and do anything without having to, worry about what she needs, it's just this one time during the day. I found that my sewing time, I was just getting back into sewing and having a regular schedule with that, and now that's kind of gone all over the place. But yeah, so now, long story short, the time in the evening, so after I put her to bed, she goes to bed at 7:30, I am milking that time. So when I come back downstairs, I've been going to bed a little bit later than I normally do, because that now is the time that I have to myself, where I don't have to worry about her, and I can just knit and work on the things that I sometimes don't get to work on during the day. So basically, I think tonight, when I get to sit down and finally knit at the end of the day, I can easily finish the 20 rows and maybe even get into the toe. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just take a break from this and work on another project, because I'm not really worried about finishing this by the halfway point. In a lot of previous months, I would finish the first sock by like the 20th, the 25th of the month, and then only have those like that last week to do the second sock. So even if I finish this, even if it takes me several days to finish this one sock, I'm still ahead of the game in terms of finishing the second sock. So I'm feeling very comfortable with my July socks right now. I think the colorway is super fun, so I can't wait to finish those and add those to my sock drawer. But the other project that I got a lot of work done on was my high Trestle Tee. So that is the pattern right there, so that you can see what it looks like. I am modifying it slightly. You can't really tell by looking at it face on, but I'll show you what I've kind of changed. But I got so much work done on this, I feel. So the last time I showed this to you, I was where the marker there is. I still had all the sleeve stitches on the needles, and I was just a couple of rows from taking those sleeve stitches off and then getting into the body. So I was able to do that. I was able to take the sleeve stitches off, and I did them in a way that I often do when I know I don't want to pick up the stitches. I just want them to be kind of a cap sleeve. Now the pattern, I think, just had you kind of bind them off, or maybe there wasn't a lot of finishing. I think the yarn that the pattern originally used, the way they do it, like, I know the neckline is something that is also not finished. They just left it as the cast on edge. And they said, if you use the yarn that we used, then it won't roll, blah, 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 blah. I did do a little thing with the neckline. But basically what I do when I want to just kind of finish the sleeves as is and not have to go back to them and do any finishing, after I finished all the increases on the sleeve and I was ready to take them off, I did a purl row first, and then I did a knit row, and then I cast off purlwise as I was taking the stitches off the sleeve. So instead of putting them on a holder, like a lot of patterns will ask you to do, I just cast them off, but I cast them off purlwise, and then those 2 rows of purls kind of leave a nice kind of little finished edge. So I'm still going to have to press it a little bit, but you can see it's not really rolling that much, so it should be fine. I also went back and I did the same thing to the neckline, because yeah, they just said to leave the neckline unfinished, and I usually don't really like that look. So I picked up the stitches, I think I purled a row, knit a row, and then cast off purlwise. This is rolling a little bit more, but I think once I press it, it should be fine. And then I was able to try it on. So once I took the sleeve stitches off and I got the body stitches onto 2 different needles, I tried it on, and the top portion fits me really well. I think I cast on the numbers for like the 44 inch, and then as I was doing the raglan increases and bust increases, I increased to the 47 inch, I think. So because I do have quite narrow shoulders, I just find often that will work better for me. But yeah, the top part fits really, really well. And now I'm just working down the body. And if you remember me mentioning, I had said that I was planning on doing a kind of a split side because I have several commercial tops that kind of have this feature, and I just find them so flowy and so breezy and easy to wear over the summer. So what I did is that if you're familiar with doing your sleeves, your raglan sleeves, usually when you take the stitches off, the sleeve stitches off, and you have them on a holder and you're joining in the round again, patterns will ask you to cast on X number of stitches under the arm, right? So I cast on 10 stitches under the arm after I took those sleeve stitches off, and then for the next couple of rows I just did garter stitch, and so I have a little bit of a joining fabric there. And then once I got to the point where I wanted to split the seam, I just kept 5 stitches on the one side and 5 stitches on the other side. And basically at the beginning of every row, I am knitting those 5 stitches. So I'm getting kind of a garter stitch edging, and I'm also slipping that first stitch purlwise so that I'm getting kind of a finished edge there as well. So the hope is that I don't have to go back and do anything to these, the sides of these panels basically, to finish it off. Once I finish the body, a good pressing, and it should be done. So I have both the front and the back on separate needles, and now I am just kind of knitting back and forth. And I finished off, so after I took the sleeves off, I still had a bit of one ball left, and I kind of knit that ball into the one side, and then when that ball ran out, I joined the second ball on, let's say the first ball was on the front. Once that ran out, I joined the next ball on the back, and I'm kind of working on that now. This is the yarn that I am using here. It is a very pretty color. I cannot wait to be able to wear this top, just because I do find that jewel tones are very flattering on me, and I know I have a lipstick that is this color, and I think it's just going to be so fun to match them up. But yeah, that's my plan, is basically to finish one ball. These are just little 50-gram balls. You know, knit that one ball into the back, and then I'll switch back to the front, knit a ball into the front, finish that off, knit a ball into the back, and just go back and forth, so that by the time I'm done, the sweater or the tee will basically be done. I don't have to go back and finish the sleeves. I don't have to go back and pick up stitches along the edge. I do think I'm just going to do a garter stitch border along the bottom. The original pattern has something very similar to this lattice down on the bottom of the body as well. I don't think I want to do that. I think I'm just going to do a garter stitch, or maybe, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Maybe a ribbing, I don't know. I'm going to pick something that will just make it lie flat, so maybe a wider garter stitch hem type thing. But I am enjoying this. I am enjoying the yarn. I actually think that I might fit. I don't know if I'm going to finish it by July, the end of July. I know I had said that previously, but you know, I might, because the stitches, there's a lot less stitches now. I'm only working on half of them at a time, so I feel like when I am able to sit down and work on this project, I am able to put a nice little dent in. So we'll see, who knows. I'm hoping to record again before the end of the month, and we'll just have to see where I am by then. So that is the other project that I am working on, and then I have one more thing that I was able to start, and then I think that will be it for this episode. So another square on my bingo card is to make the gift bags. So make gift bags for Avery and make gift bags for Kira. This is for Christmas because we are trying to get away, or I am trying to get away from using a lot of wrapping paper ourselves every year. Like, they're always going to get gifts from family that are in wrapping paper, but at least for our gifts, which are very predictable, I'm trying to get away from using wrapping paper every year. So I want to make reusable gift bags, and I showed you, I think maybe not the last episode, but the one before that maybe, I showed you the fabric that I picked out for Avery's gift bags, and I was finally able to get down into the basement and iron and cut them to size, and I was able to sew one, and then I have another one that is all pinned and partly sewn, because I don't always get the time during the day. Sometimes I get half a bag sewn, and that's all I get done during the day, and I have to put it aside, but the other bag is half sewn. So this is basically what they are going to look like in different sizes. So I had bought 1 meter of this fabric, and I decided to do with this 1 meter 2 smaller bags that are kind of like this size. They do have a gusseted bottom, very much like the bags that I sell for my shop. I just find when you do a gusseted bottom, for some reason they can fit more than if there isn't that gusseted bottom. So I'm going to have 2 bags that are kind of this size. I think the other one might be slightly wider than this. And then I just did the zipper. I've got the lining that I picked out. If you watched Vlogmas, I went and I picked out some lining for all of her bags. So I have 2 meters of that. I'm going to have to order more of this. And then, yeah, it's just a zipper. And then I added this little tab. So the reason I did that is because Avery is young. She's a child. You'll have to let me know down in the comments below. As a child, were you a present peeker or were you not? Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. It depends. Even now, sometimes I'm happy to have a surprise. Sometimes I just want to know everything. But I figured I'd put these little loops on, and then if I really wanted to make sure that Avery couldn't like zip open and have a look, what I could do is use like those zip ties and just put the zip tie through the zipper there, put it through the loop, pull it really tight, and then it would be very difficult to open up. But I've explained to her, as I'm sure many of us were explained to when we were little, that you're only ruining the surprise for yourself, right? Go ahead and peek, but you're just ruining it for yourself. But if I decide to do that, at least I have this little loop there that I can do that with. She is not the type of kid who would like, you know, cut the loop to get in there. She just wouldn't do that. So I'm not worried about that, but I've got this one here, and I figured that this size would be good for, so we usually do 5 kind of standard gifts or categories: want, wear, need, read, and then do. I figured this would easily fit a couple of books, or this could even fit, like the other one that I've got in progress is slightly bigger than that, I think. I think I would be able to fit an outfit, like if I got her some shirt and leggings or something, that would fit in that kind of bag. And then the other one that I have downstairs that I have yet to do is quite big, and so that should fit like a toy or something along those lines, or craft kit or something like that. So I am going to order another meter or yard of this fabric, and then that should be plenty. And then I also have to order Kira's fabric. I think I picked something out, again on Spoonflower, because they just have these really niche kind of fabrics. So yeah, once I get Kira's, then I'll be able to start those, but at least I've started them. I feel like at least I've started them. So I think that is all that I had to share with you. Before we go, I just realized a moment ago I wanted to again talk about the little sale that is going on in my shop for the month of July. I've got 2 things kind of going on. So I mentioned the last episode that I was thinking of doing a free shipping all month. I do have that coupon all set up, ready to go. So the coupon for that is free ship, and that will get you free shipping off your order. So if you live somewhere outside of Canada, that might be a good bet for you, because shipping does tend to be a little bit more expensive, and maybe you've had your eye on just like one thing, and you know, sometimes the shipping cost when you just want one item can kind of put you off. That might be a good way to go for you. Now, every year on my birthday, I always have a 30% off sale. Now, my birthday this month is falling on a Friday, so I have decided to do the whole weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so the 16th, 17th, and 18th will all be days that you can use the code BIRTHDAY for 30% off your order. Now, that is only for ready to ship items, so things that are ready to go. The free shipping coupon can also be used on custom items. Neither coupon can be used on clubs, and they can't be combined. So you kind of have to pick the one that works best for where you are. If you're in Canada, I would go with the 30% off because the shipping costs are much less. If you're outside of Canada, maybe the free shipping would be your better option. But yeah, both of them are there for you to decide if there's something that would benefit you. So that is what is going to be going on for July for my birthday sale, and I think that's everything I have to share with you for this episode. So because we have been going to the park pretty much every day that the weather has allowed, I do have a little video of Kira playing in the splash pad. She loves the splash pad. Avery, when she was little, it terrified her, and she's never really got back into it. She will go in it, but it's not something that she just, you know, frolics through and just has a great time. It's just something she kind of tolerates, whereas Kira absolutely loves it. She is fascinated by water. She is fascinated by moving water. And she's even been in there the other day, yesterday. She was playing with the spout, sort of like in the ground where the water comes out from. She was kind of playing with the spout, and a new cycle of the sprinklers kind of started, and whatever was coming out of the spout came out and like beamed her right in the face. She didn't cry. She was just kind of shocked at herself, and then just kind of waddled over to the next one and started playing with that one. So she is just unfazed, completely unfazed. So yeah, I have a cute little video of her kind of, you know, strolling around in the splash pad. I think I will put that at the end there. But other than that, that is it for this episode. I hope you are all doing very well. I hope you are enjoying whatever you are working on, and I will talk to you soon.